Thank you so, so, so much for having the time with me to just kind of meet with me and kind of talk about this show. But first of all, I kind of wanted to go ahead and congratulate you on your engagement. How are
Thank
you feeling
you.
about it?
Still very excited. I think now people are already being great and annoying by asking, when is it? I'm like, I don't know. We do know, obviously, it's based on a lot of excitement and energy, and we're really appreciative of all of the love and support. What a beautiful article in People magazine. And we're really crossing our fingers for a fall 2025 wedding indoors. We're definitely not one of the couples that like outdoor weddings because you have no idea what the weather is going to give. And
Yeah.
so that is literally our through line right now, but really excited still, really excited.
Did you have any idea while like filming season two that like it's gonna happen? I'm proposing, this is gonna happen.
Yes and no. It's so interesting because the question I often get asked is, when did you know? Like, when was that
Mhm.
moment? And I don't know, right? Like, I actually am just like, we've been together for 3.5 years. I really see our future together. This is my person. There wasn't like an aha moment. I think the entirety of our relationship for me was the aha moments, right?
Mhm.
But, I can't think of one particular moment. I think, though, during season two filming, we knew we were moving in with each other in a couple of months. Well, it was really a month after we wrapped up season two filming. And so naturally, when you move in with someone, it's like, okay, we've been together for a few years now. We're moving in. Like, let's stop playing house and figure this thing out. So,
Yeah.
great. Thankfully, we have many conversations about our like futures together and what is next. And so wedding planning and engagements were always a topic of conversation. So I don't think it was a shock per se to either of us.
Mhm.
Certainly, I think the actual proposal and when it was and where it was a shock to him. But thankfully, the wedding itself or the engagement itself was not.
Yeah. Did anyone in the cast kind of know beforehand, like who from the cast was like, "Oh, I know something"? You
The
guys did.
entire cast knew,
Oh,
actually.
they did. Oh, that's
Yeah, I
awesome.
yeah, I shared with the entire cast that I was going to propose, so they already knew.
That's awesome. Now that you're on TV, would you ever think about showing the wedding televised, kind of like Candace delivered
Yeah,
that on Potomac did?
I would be very open to that. Obviously, it's just a me conversation, so he would need to give his insight there too. But I think, we've already kind of, filmed together in some instances and shared our relationships and kind of our like, how do we get together, romance type conversation. And so I personally would be open to it for sure. I think things have to look right, including the money, because one, weddings are already expensive. And when you throw in cameras, it certainly doesn't make it less dramatic. And so, certainly I just want to make sure that it is a memorable day for both of us, obviously on or off camera. But I certainly, I don't think we've ever really seen Black queer couples in this way on TV and not Black queer men. And so I don't know. I think it will be a really unique opportunity and something I would really be open to exploring.
I mean, you could even have Candace then like perform at the wedding. She loves the show. I mean,
Listen,
how do you feel
listen,
about all
I,
the
She
time
does love this show.
she's
I
giving
will
you?
say, though, I do already have one really good friend who I went to college with who I've already said, like, you will be performing at our wedding. So, we can obviously have more than one performer, but my friend Jade Noble will be like the central performer.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, from what we've seen on the show is you always seem like the voice of reason and everything that you say is just so calming and we just love that. And the relationship that you have with Summer and Jordan shown throughout the whole show, how do you feel kind of having to like manage their issues that they were going through and kind of being like that middle person without having to like choose a side, I guess.
It's interesting because I think part of what we all also call attorneys are counselors. And so I really do believe that I mean, even before law school, I feel at least that I was always a friend that my friends came to for advice, to hear them out, to give them I shouldn't say the hard truth, but yes, like sometimes the pill that's a little too big to swallow, but they know they respect it coming from me. And I think Summer and Jordan's relationship is an interesting one because I see so much love and friendship within their friendship dynamic. I think it's also difficult when you are kind of like someone, but you may not see that you are like someone. And so even when, Summer would ask me a question, right? And this was one of the episodes, it was really about tone, right? They were discussing how they speak to each other, and then I finally had to, as the friend, but as the observer of their arguments and conversations to say, both of y'all actually speak to each other in a kind of sharp tone that can be a little disrespectful, right? I think from Summer's perspective, my opinion is that I do think, well, and this is just not Summer, actually. I think many people see this. They see Jordan and I, we always joke about husband and wife, et cetera. So I do believe that there is a natural, like, you will take Jordan's side. But the reality is I am never going to be the type of friend that just takes another friend's side, right? Like if my friend is wrong, my friend is wrong. I'm going to address it though in a different way. It's always interesting. I'm not going to address the entire room when I know I'm with my closest friend to be like, actually, you were very wrong. That's just not, to me, that's not friendship. Like, like you pull your friend to the side, you get home and you're like, hey, let's talk about what happened earlier. And so, I think with their dynamic, it's easy for me to be like neutral or at the very least willing to hear both sides because I do think they're both right and I think they're both wrong sometimes. And, and it's just difficult, right, to see it be recapped. And I just really pray they can get back to what I know their friendship can be.
I love that because in shows like these, it's always like good to have someone like you that is like that person that is always able to bring back everybody, just kind of like, hey, let's just talk about this and have a one-on-one conversation. Not everything has to be aired out,
Yeah, not everything is a group discussion, and right. And I realize that we are filming for a show, right? So there are some things that have to be a group discussion naturally. But, but I think that's also the struggling part that I don't know if we discuss enough. The struggling part is like, we are genuinely friends. And so, it's like, yeah, we're filming, but what is the result of this going to be afterward, right? Either we're going to actually not be friends afterward, or we're going to make sure we have these conversations and these kind of like moments where we're going to get back to our collective friendship. And then sometimes you see that doesn't happen. Sometimes you realize you're not as close friends and you're okay with that, right? And that's just kind of the nature of friendships. Friendships, can be for a long period. They can be for your lifetime, and they can be for a season.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Well, it looks like you guys are going to go into your first reunion. How are you feeling about that?
I'm excited. I'm ready to see the fashions. I will unapologetically say I think we are the most fashionable cast on Bravo and the best looking cast on Bravo market. I will argue about it. And I'm really excited to see everyone's fits. Like I can really see I just really see some strong outfits. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to see this infamous seating chart. I'm really excited. Maybe not excited, but I'm really interested to hear the conversations and perspectives that are certainly going to happen. The yelling, the potential screaming, the obvious walk-offs. And at the end, I hope we're sponsored by Kleenex because we know if it's like any episode, there will be a lot of tears.
Yes, definitely. Well, I really appreciate this time. And thank you so much for meeting with me and just being such an amazing person on this show. And just keep doing everything that you're doing because we love you so much, and there is a reason why you're a fan favorite. So thank you so much.
That means a lot. Thank you so much, Louisa.